This is Good Morning Santa Paula, and it's Thursday. Hi, I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula, and it's Thursday, April 21st, and our guest today is Jonathan Royas, who is the city's management analyst and the public information officer. And if he looks tan and happy, he just got back from a family vacation in Hawaii. So, so welcome back.
Thank you, Peggy. Great to see you.
Yes, absolutely. What do they say in Hawaii? They say, is it always aloha or is it
mahalo, aloha?
Mahalo. That's the one that I always trip over the M. Mahalo. There you go. That sounds wonderful. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a wonderful time, and I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, and I made it back with all my limbs,
So I know we've got much going on in the city. I mean, we're right on the heels of a council meeting that was held last night. And one of the issues on the agenda was a program that the city has. I guess basically comes from that American that grant. I'm sorry, I can't remember what they call it.
Grant. The American Rescue Plan Act.
That's it. Now, does this water bill grant is that coming from that fund?
Yeah, so it's a great question, Peggy. So the funds exactly they're flowed through from the federal government to the California Water Control Board. So they received those funds, and then the California Water Control Board put together a program where they partnered with local municipalities, anybody who basically was a water or wastewater provider, and really found out during COVID how many of these end users or the residents, how many of them suffered setbacks due to the financial situation going on with COVID, and they just weren't able to pay their bills. So we submitted for that program and all the data of all the numerous residents that unfortunately due to the tough times weren't able to pay their bills, and so they ended up creating basically kind of on the books a big debt for themselves. We were able to partner with this program, and they were able to grant us this money so that we could come back and wipe away all that debt.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I might add, too, nobody lost their water. Nobody had their utility turned off during all.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because there has been a little bit of confusion about that. So, first of all, when the COVID started, one of the moratoriums that was put in place is that we would not shut off people's water for due to lack of payment or any other ability for that matter. So water shutoffs has not been occurring and still are not occurring to this day. That hasn't been authorized by council yet. So until that does happen, we're continuing to move forward. Now, with this new program, this payment plan, by accepting these funds, we're beginning to move towards that process where we're going to wipe the slate clean for many of the residents. And this is only the portion of their water bill during the COVID pandemic. Sure. And then after that, they would have to submit for a payment plan on any other arrearages or debt that they might have on the book, water, not sewer, because this program is specifically just for the water. Then you were immediately included in this program, and those unpaid bills during that time were credited to your account.
Interesting. And this, the amount the city got, they get $250,000 or.
It was, I believe it was like $366,000.
Okay, that's right. It seems low what I was saying. Now, is that sufficient to cover all of that, or?
Yes, so that covered any resident during that particular period who basically built up debt on their water service during that particular time. It doesn't include, so say you had a resident who had, before going into COVID, to say January 1st of that same year, had already started falling behind on their bill. That portion of their bill is still on the books, and they're still responsible for that debt.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this covers actually the worst part of COVID.
Yes.
And it's well over a year. So
yeah, which is a huge win. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are they have reached out to the city making comments of, why am I getting this credit, or, I don't need this credit. I'm already making arrears, or I've already kind of fixed my situation from during COVID. And the point is that we have to follow the rules and the laws of the program.
Sure.
There's no discrimination. It's like if you were included in that group, then you ended up getting the credit.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear about that.
Yeah, great program. Hopefully this helps put, $366,000 is a lot of money for a lot of residents. Unfortunately, I don't have the number of residents that were, impacted, but
Yeah.
on average, the amount of credit that was given out was $193.
Mm-hmm. And that's strictly on their water bill.
Correct, strictly on their water bill. And I did also want to point out the good news is that we should be finding out within the next couple of weeks, as part of the same program, because the state was so flush with money and the California water boards had so much extra money left over, is that they're extending that now to the sewer, or the wastewater portion.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have more information about that here in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, great. Well, keep those grants coming, and
yeah.
It helps everybody. It helps the citizens who couldn't afford to pay their bill during the shutdown, and take that debt off their books, and also help the city balance their books because they did not have that income, so that revenue
absolutely
to supply service.
Yeah, it was a tough time, so.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Now we've got a also at the council meeting. I guess they renewed the PBID. Would you explain what is a PBID?
Yeah, so you probably heard that term, right? PBID a lot, and that's used in short, but it stands for the Property Business Improvement District downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, this was established in 2019, and for an initial 3-year term. And what the district is, the responsibility is really revitalization and growth and tourism and marketing and development in our downtown, but only a small section of the downtown. And I'll tell you, so it's basically the Main Street portion from 8th Street all the way to 10th Street, and then from 10th Street on Main all the way down to basically City Hall.
Uh-huh.
And that's the district, and there's a board of directors, and the way the district is funded is through an additional assessment on property taxes to those business locations that are in that district. But then the board turns around and utilizes that money to do some of the great things that we've seen in the last 2.5 years, whether it's from revitalizing the banner program, which you and I have spoken about, and you contributed some great ideas to that program, which the board was very supportive of.
Well, I'm a great believer in flying the flag or the banner. And they do. They look very, very nice. I mean, and sometimes it's just these accumulated. You do this over here and do that over there, and then all of a sudden, not one of them on its own is a huge thing, but put together, it does become something. And obviously, the people who are actually paying for it through the PBID, the property owners themselves, they like it too, or they would not have taxed themselves now.
Right. And there's so many, we could have a cool conversation, for just all the different accomplishments they've had. But some of the other great ones that they've done is big partnerships with, for instance, like our Parks and Recreation Department. You might notice from time to time if you're eating at Rabelais or some of the restaurants down there, you'll see different pieces of property, picking up litter. And they do that now twice a week in the downtown for 4 hours a day. So typically, I believe it's Mondays and Fridays. But that's another program where they partner with the city to see about, how do we get some boots on the ground and help kind of clean up the downtown.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's a regular grooming. So that's a great idea.
They've been supportive, the PBID of the Santa Paula Beautiful program, providing funds for materials such as paint, and wood varnish, etc., where during one of the Santa Paula Beautifuls, they redid all the benches in the downtown, where they painted all the poles green. They fixed the old fountain on the Garden Market Alley. So those are just some of a few of the things. But essentially what happened last evening was the 3-year initial period term for PBID is going to expire here kind of at the end of the year in December. So council gave authorization for staff to move
I
forward.
was doing really well, except I went out to get something out of my car and the battery is totally dead.
Right, so they still have to go to vote on it?
Correct.
Okay, I was a little ahead of
You got that one right.
Okay, great. Well, I'm
See
glad
what your schedule is, you know,
because
during
of course these are the people that are involved that want to be involved.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, and then this renewal period was really nice.
Good luck tomorrow morning
we
with
had
the
some
game.
additional businesses contact the PBID and express, hey, you know, we've seen some of the great things that you guys are doing downtown. How do we become a part of this group? And how can we assist? And that's one of the great things, right, about Santa Paula that we all know is that there's just so many different groups and organizations and businesses that really care about, Santa Paula and care about our downtown.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're able to expand the district.
Yeah, and the downtown of Santa Paula is so historical. That's why it's used for filming all the time. We've got wonderful businesses all over Santa Paula. But where people go first as tourists or looking to start a business or for filming, they go to the downtown.
Yeah.
So it's we've got to keep that. I mean, it's our downtown is famous. So, and now what will they do when they have people that want to be involved and don't maybe live in the district? Can they just have them be included, or do they expand the district? How do they handle it?
Well, so those individuals and businesses that were interested in getting involved, we absolutely included them in the renewal process. So now they're a part of the process going forward. So if they do vote here, ballots will be sent out in the next week. We anticipate favorable results based on the initial petitions that we received back, but then they'll be a part of the PBID group and can join the board or come to the board meetings and help move that process forward. So.
Okay, well, I'm excited about that. Now, who the board of directors? Now, of course, the money took a while to flow because they had to go ahead, and then it's like you said, property based. So does that go on their property tax too? Is that how? And then it's off.
Yes, it's handled through the county.
Sure.
And it comes on that additional assessment comes on that property tax bill.
And that's only to the people that are in the PBID. So, we would like to emphasize that. Yeah. And the thing is, though, that's great about it is, they just got it started and they had the huge shutdown. So now it's really come to fruition, and I'm excited that they're going to go ahead. And I have no doubt that they will go ahead and continue it.
Yeah, you have a great point, Peggy. I'm glad you brought that up. That was a big challenge. I mean, starting it up in 2019 as a new group, and then COVID struck. Not until I came on board, essentially when I joined that group, they were still in the process of figuring out the insurance, who was going to be on the board, how everything, setting up bank accounts, etc. So COVID really kind of put things to a halt. So they've done a lot of remarkable things in the downtown, I would say, in the last 12 months that have really moved things along.
Yeah, they really have. It shows. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. I'll be following that for sure. Now, we also have, which I think is kind of interesting, we have a banner program that we're all excited about because that's our military banner program. So we see that being restarted, as it were.
Yeah, so we had this great program in Santa Paula. I believe it was started back in 2008, the Military Salutes Santa Paula Banner Program. And unfortunately, due to budget constraints and some other things that happened over the years, the program wasn't very sustainable. So I'm sure many of the community members, you can still even see to this day, will see either tattered or torn military banners that are kind of still hanging on the existing poles that are kind of left around Veterans Park area and on 10th Street. And, we just finally got to the point, PBID was really a catalyst to help us revitalize the program. And once we saw what we could do with the downtown and figured out some ways to set aside some funds for this program, council was obviously, they supported this program and setting aside some funds. But now we got it back on track and we're looking to hopefully do a really great big program Memorial Day weekend to honor all the new military banner flags.
And that's of course with the city.
Yes, with the city. So right now we have on our website, there's an easy online form that you can fill out.
Mm-hmm.
Banners are $124.50, which is pretty much in line with what they used to cost. And the good news is that fee will secure your banner location for 3 years on a pole. The banners are going to be located around Veterans Park, so they'll cover all sides of Veterans Park. And if anything should happen to the banner in that time frame, it gets torn or ripped or the hardware breaks, the city will make sure to replace that at no cost.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. And also there's no cost for installing it either. It's just...
Yeah, it's just included already in the...
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I know a lot of people are going to be very happy to hear that.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be great. It's going to look amazing, and it most, importantly, it honors those hometown heroes that are from Santa Paula or family who have active, military out there fighting right now for us. So.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, it always was. It was always and Santa Paula is a very patriotic town, and Santa Paula is very, very proud and very supportive of its veterans, living or past. And so I think I can see that being a rousing success. It was the first time around, so I'm very happy to hear about that.
Yeah.
And you said basically that would probably kick off on Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, we have only 46 spots available. And as of now, we've already probably received maybe about 12 to 15 applications, somewhere in that range. So there's only so many spots, but there's still plenty available. So sign up today.
Okay, absolutely, and I'll make sure to get something in the newspaper for Wednesday too. So
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking back to business, they're having a business roundtable. I'm very excited to hear that. I'm going to try to make it myself. Tell us about that.
Back to business. Yeah, no, I like that. That was a great segue. So one of the council's strategic goals is to really engage the residents, and in particular our business community, to find out ways where we can improve and how can we support our businesses. Whether that's just having a quarterly meeting or an update, which is exactly kind of what this kickoff meeting is all about. How do we get into a consistent pattern of having a quarterly update where we let them know economic development wise, what's going on in town, where available properties are to either lease or get into, but then also more importantly, like how can we make things easier for our business community? What can we do to help support them and help them grow and succeed? So the intention is really, this first one is to really find out what we need to do, how often would they like to meet, what we can do to make things better for them, and then as we progress, really make it also more educational. Bring in county groups or the local economic development collaborative to kind of share things that'll help make them more successful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And I know there's a lot of business coming to Santa Paula. I'm quite pleased to see that, and I'm glad that the city's going to be able to share it with everybody who's in business, because it's same old story. Something about this all ships rise type of a thing. And now I know also that James Mason, the community development director, actually gave a report last night on economic development, and I guess he had a lot to talk about.
He did, and I'm hoping, and I think the plan is that a lot of what he had in that report, I'm sure is going to carry over to the meeting. It might be an abridged version of it, because again, I want to make sure that everybody's aware this is going to really be an opportunity to just put our listening ears on and hear from business.
Oh, absolutely.
With COVID in there, everything's been difficult, and I know that James and his team did their best to go out, boots on the ground, and kind of meet individually with a lot of the businesses downtown, but I'm sure there's still a lot of businesses that we didn't get to touch, so this is their opportunity to come forward and just work together like we always do in Santa Paula, right? We have great partnerships and relationships, so
absolutely. And that's going to be next Thursday, a week from today?
Yeah, next Thursday, the 28th, and then that's going to be at the Glen Tavern Inn. from 9 a.m. to 10:30.
Oh, okay, great. Well, what a wonderful setting too. Yeah, and that will be great. And of course, it's going to be bilingual.
Yes.
Oh, okay, wonderful. I hope that somebody's going to personally invite our Spanish speaking merchants.
Yes. So we're actually working right now to utilize the information we have from business licenses to reach out.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome. That's why I got an invitation.
There you
I don't have to. Does that? I thought it was because you liked me.
Both. a business, and
I guess my business license must be current. I'll have to double check.
come with a renewal notice or
Oh boy, yeah, wow, that's all I need. Don't I? Yeah, I will. I'll bring my and my check. Well, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited they're looking at making it quarterly.
It's funny you mentioned that though, Peggy. I think sometimes the feeling out there from the businesses is either hey they got their license or whatever they need from the city, or maybe they haven't, right?
Sure.
So they're kind of like fearful. They don't want to show up at the meeting because they feel like, oh, the city, if I show up, they're going to come visit me in the next few weeks, to make sure that I'm up to snuff, on all my stuff. And it's not about that at all.
Yeah.
It's really about building relationships and, making sure that we're here to support you. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. And I plan on attending, so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it myself. So do we have anything else that we should know about, or anything else?
I'm sure we'll be chatting next week as well. But just to remind everybody, upcoming at the beginning of the month here in May, we'll have another cruise night special, and that cruise night special will be on the 6th of May, which is on Friday, the day after Cinco de Mayo, and again it'll be in conjunction with our farmers market.
Oh, okay, that's right. And then we've got the hospice event coming up, which is the end of the Mayo, I think. I think it's going to be on the 1st of May. I have to double check. But
nice, very nice.
Yeah, and the health fair at the community center, and just all sorts of wonderful things are going on. So we'll make sure we have a list of those for next week.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Jonathan, as always, a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for updating everybody on what's happening in the most beautiful community in the world.
Yeah.
We appreciate it very much. And once again, everyone, I'm Peggy Kelly with the Mighty Santa Paula Times. If you'd like to watch this, you can see it on cable channel 10, KADYTV.com. And also, if you watch it on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and it helps us bring this programming to you. And once again, Jonathan, thank you very much. Best to you and your family.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. And everyone out there, have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend and spend money in Santa Paula.